time, we ask everyone to please rise and remove all hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to the starting lineups for both teams. First, for the visiting Huntington North Vikings. Starting at the guard, a 5'9" senior, number 3, Zach Hubbard. Starting at the guard, a 5'11" senior, number 10, Ashton Osler. Starting at the third guard, a 5'11" senior, number 30, Austin Oswalt. Starting at a forward, a 6'3" senior, number 11, Will Hotchkiss. Also at forward, a 5'11" senior, number 44, Cam McCarver. The head coach of the Vikings is Greg Krieger. And now the starting lineup for your Mississinewa Indians. Starting at guard, a 5'11" senior, number 10, Hayden Ulrich. Also at guard, a 6'1" sophomore, number 21, Cannon Smith. Starting at a forward, a 6' senior, number 42, Lucas Asbury. Also at forward, a 6'4" freshman, number 31, Jackson Ott. And at center, a 6'3" senior, number 4, Todd Newsom. The head coach of your Indians is James Reed. Officials for tonight's game is Christopher Bryson, Keontae Bryson, and Ryan Carroll.
Hello and welcome to the varsity matchup between the Mississinewa Indians and the Huntington North Vikings. Starting lineup, as you can see, is Hayden Ulrich, Gannon Smith, Ty Newsom, Lucas Asbury, and Jackson Ott. Same as you saw him against Marion. And Ty Newsom will be the man to line up for the tip-off for the Indians. And it'll be Huntington North ball right off the bat. Ashton Hosler with the ball, and he'll pass it over to Zach. Zach with the layup, and it's good. And that's the first points of the game so far. Ulrich will inbound it to Gannon. Gannon will just give it back to Ulrich. And Ulrich will take it to midcourt. He'll pass it to Gannon. Gannon to Asbury. Asbury to Ty. Ty back to Gannon. And now back to Hayden at the arch. Hayden to Lucas Asbury in the corner. Asbury dribbles it out. Back to Hayden Ulrich. Hayden tries driving it into the paint. Had nothing there. Now he'll pass it to Asbury, and Asbury passes it to Gannon. Gannon now back to Asbury. Asbury drives it in. Newsom in the paint, and he gets fouled. He missed the two, but we'll go to the free throw line for two. Ashton Hotzler, the person that fouled Newsom. And Ty's first free throw is no good. Ty's second free throw is also no good, but Jackson Ott gets the rebound. And Ty gives it back to Ott. Ott to Asbury. Asbury for three, no good. Asbury was on fire last week against Marion. Now Ashton will take it to midcourt. Ashton over to number 30, Austin Oswalt. And now Zach has the ball again to number 44, Cam. In the paint is number 11, Will. And now for the three, no good. Hayden with the rebound. That three was taken by Zach. Hayden drives it into the paint and no good. Zach with the ball, he takes it to midcourt and is now at the arch. Hayden with the good defensive play, and he'll get the layup. No, he actually missed it. Gannon Smith with the rebound, and Gannon puts it up, and Gannon can't quite finish it. Indiana still looking for their first points of the game. Ashton now takes it to midcourt once again. And he takes it over to Zach. Zach passes it and missed it. And he was fouled. That is number 44, Cam McCarver. Foul was on Gannon Smith on that play. Both teams coming into this game 0-1. Indians lost to Marion. The Vikings lost to Homestead. And number 11 with the rebound. Passes it over to 30, and that's two. That was Austin Oswalt for the two for Huntington. Hayden will bounce it over to Gannon Smith. Gannon over to Jackson Ott. Ott over to Hayden. Hayden takes a three, and Hayden misses. Gannon Smith with the rebound, though. He passes over to Jackson Ott. Ott over to Lucas Asbury. Asbury will just pass it over to Hayden. Hayden at midcourt. He passes over to Ty. Ty will dribble it out to Ott. Ott to Smith. And now back to Ott in the corner. Ott lost the ball for a second. He passes it over to Gannon, but it got tipped. Gannon Smith at midcourt. He lost it. And on the recovery is number 3. And that's a dunk. Zach Hubbard, the man on the dunk for the Vikings. Not what you want to see if you're the Indians down 7 early on in this game. Gannon tried driving it in, back to Ott, now back to Gannon. Gannon drives it into the paint, and that's a travel. Horrible, horrible start to this game for the Indians. Like I said, Huntington North lost 50-38 against Homestead. Zach in the paint, he passes it over to Will. Will pass it over to Cam. Cam back to Zach. Zach now pass it over to number 30, wide open in the paint was Will. Austin Oswalt. with the pass, and the Indians take the early timeout. We'll be back after this.
While you may not be a pediatric surgeon volunteering your topiary talents at a children's hospital, your life is just as unique. Your Raymond James financial advisor gets to know you, your passions, and the way you give back, so you can live your life. That's life well planned.
Wyatt Dorman. Eric with the ball now at the volleyball line. Wyatt with the ball. Now back to Eric. Now back to Wyatt. Oh, it almost taken away by Ulrich. Zach with the ball. He passes it over to Austin. Austin over to Zach at the volleyball line. He wants Wyatt. Now back to Austin. Now back to Zach at the volleyball line. Good defense by the Indians. Oh, Zach lost it for a second. And Ty Newsom's right there to pick it up. And Ty gets fouled. Back to the line for two. And Ty missed it. Missed his first one. And Ty makes his second one, though, making up for the first one. Zach will get it over to Eric. Eric over to Cam, and that'll be it for the first quarter. 16-10. Vikings lead over the Indians. We'll be back after this.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
And we are back for the second quarter. It'll be Indians ball here. As they will keep the original starting five out there. Ty Newsom will inbound it to Hayden Ulrich. Ulrich will take it to midcourt. He'll pass it over to Gannon. And Gannon over to Ott. Ott takes the three, and it's good! Indians close it. Vikings only up by three. Eric at half court. He passes it over to Zach. Zach to Wyatt. Now back to Eric. Now back to Zach at volleyball line. Now back to Eric. He passes it over to Wyatt. Now back to Zach. Wide open in the paint was... And now Austin with the two, missed. Jackson Ott rebound. Will had it in the paint for a second, couldn't quite finish it off. Hayden will now take it to midcourt. He passes it to Gannon. Gannon passes it to Ty, to Hayden. Hayden takes the mid-range jumper, and no good. Eric with the rebound, and he'll pass it over to Will. Now back to Eric, now back to Will. Will over to Zach, now to Wyatt. Eric with the three, no good, short. But Wyatt with the rebound, now back to Eric. Austin in the paint. Austin passes it all the way over to Zach. Zach with the three, no good. Jackson Ott with the rebound, and now Hayden Ulrich gets the ball and will take it to midcourt. Indians trying to tie it up for the first time since it was 0-0. Hayden gets it in the paint. Hayden back to Jackson Ott, now to Gannon Smith. Now Asbury for the three, no good. Will had the rebound. Now Zach will take it into the paint. And that'll be called a foul. I believe on Gannon. Now Zach will take 2 free throws here. And he missed the first one. Zach trying to push the lead to a 2-score lead for Huntington North. Trayvon Hess will now come in for Gannon Smith. And he missed the other one. And now Trayvon with the rebound. Now to Hayden at midcourt. At the arch, he tries driving it into the paint, and he does, and over to Ty. Ty lost it for a second. Over to Trayvon. Trayvon with the 3. Trades it! 16-16. For the first time since it was 0-0, the Indians tie up the game. Austin now at the arch. He passes it inside to Will and to Cam, who lost it for a second. Now over to Eric. Now over to Will, who lost it as well for a second. Eric still with the ball. He passes it to Zach. Zach with the wide open 3. Missed it. Ty Newsome with the rebound. Over to Trayvon Hess. Over to Jackson Ott, who takes the 3 but was tipped. Will with the rebound. Now Trayvon Hess has it. Nope, they will rule it. Vikings ball. Eric will inbound it to Austin. Now Austin will take it to the arch. Pass inside to Cam, and wide open in the paint was number 40, Dylan Trout. First time we called his name tonight. Easy 2 for the Vikings. Hayden Ulrich now will take it to midcourt. At the volleyball line, he passes it to Asbury. Now Newsome with the ball. He passes it right back to Asbury. And Asbury with the mid-range, missed. Austin will now take it to the arch. Now in the paint, he drives it in there. Passes it over to Eric. Eric to mid-range, back to Cam. Oswald with the 3, no good. Rebound Trayvon Hess. But there is a foul on number 44. That was Cam McCarver on the foul. Hayden now will take it to midcourt at the volleyball line. Passes it over to Asbury. Asbury back to Hayden. Hayden takes a 3. Hayden, no good. Foul on the play, though. Eric will inbound it. Gannon Smith will now come in for Ty Newsome. Eric inbounds it to Zach. Zach will just give it right back to Eric. Eric takes it to midcourt, back to Zach at the arch. Now back to number 5, Jacob. First time we've called his name tonight. At the volleyball line, it is Eric. Now over to Will, I believe. Back to Cam, and Cam is good for 2 in the paint. Hayden at midcourt. He passes it over to Asbury. Now to Trayvon. Trayvon passes it to Jackson Ott. Now he'll pass it to Gannon Smith, who about lost it out of bounds. Asbury wanted the 3 to Trayvon, to Hayden. Now back to Trayvon, back to Asbury. Asbury will now give it to Hayden. Hayden drives it into the paint. Hayden gets the 2. Eric will now take it to midcourt. And he'll pass it over to Zach, now over to Eric. Zach with the ball, he'll give it to Jacob. He passes over to Cam, now back to Eric. Eric drives it into the paint, and it's good. 22-18, Vikings lead over the Indians with 2:43 left, and the Indians will actually take a timeout here. Let's don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Thing I've learned as the Pacers announcer is how to face a challenge. So when our hard Indiana water caused problems at home, I reached out to Connecticut, the toughest water treatment company in the business. Our equipment eliminated all the bad tastes and odors, and we have no stains or cloudy residue. If you're ready for great water, ask for the Denary deal to take an additional $200 off any Connecticut sale price. Visit ConnecticutIndy.com for a free water test. Connecticut, official sponsor of the Indiana Pacers.
And we are back. Ulrich will inbound it to Gannon. Gannon just gives it right back to Hayden. Now Hayden will take it to midcourt. Over to Gannon. Gannon to Asbury. Asbury to Trayvon. Trayvon over to Gannon. Now back to Hayden. Hayden over to Trayvon in the middle. And he'll give it to Gannon. Gannon tried driving into the paint. Nothing there. Over to Trayvon. Over to Hayden. Now Asbury with the ball. Now Jackson out with the ball, passes it all the way over to Gannon Smith, and that is a travel. Lucky break for the Vikings defense, and now Zach will take it to midcourt. Over to Austin, back to Zach, over to Jacob. Jacob back to Zach, now to Austin at the arch. Now back to Cam. Zach wide open in the corner. Zach drives it in, can't quite do it. Austin for three, and it's good. Hayden Ulrich will now take it to midcourt. 1 minute, 30 seconds left in the first half. Gannon with the ball. He'll pass it over to Jackson Ott. Now Trayvon Hess with the ball. Back to Hayden. Hayden tries driving it. Trayvon, corner three. It's good, and he was fouled! He'll now go to the line for the free throw. Absolutely drains the three and was ran over and thrown to the ground at the same time. And Trayvon's free throw is no good. Zach will now take it to the volleyball line. He'll pass it over to Austin. Austin at the arch now, getting double teamed. Now back to Jacob for the three. Jacob no good. Hayden Ulrich gets the rebound, and he'll take it to midcourt. About lost it for a second at the volleyball line. Over to Trayvon. And the pass was just a little bit too much in front of him. Trayvon couldn't rally it in. Now Zach will take it to midcourt with 1 minute left in the first half. Over to Austin at the arch. Jacob in the corner. Now over to Will. Now back to Austin, who takes a three, and it's good! 7-point lead for the Vikings. Now Hayden Ulrich will now take it to midcourt. He'll pass it over to Gannon. Gannon over to Jackson. Jackson, Hayden's wide open in the paint, and he gets two. Zach will now take it to midcourt. And he'll give it to Austin. Austin also at the volleyball line. Now back to Zach, still at the volleyball line. Back to Austin. Now back to Zach. They're just going to try to drain as much clock as they can. Zach at the arch, now over to Austin. Austin driving it into the paint. Up for the two, and a foul! 3-point play by Austin Oswald if he makes the free throw with just 1 second left, just a little bit over a second left. And he makes the free throw. Now Jackson Ott will inbound it to Gannon. Gannon will just chuck it, and no good. And that does it for the first half. Huntington North Vikings lead the Mississinewa Indians 31-23. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for the second half.
While you may not be a pediatric surgeon volunteering your topiary talents at a children's hospital, your life is just as unique. Your Raymond James financial advisor gets to know you, your passions, and the way you give back, so you can live your life. That's life well planned.
And welcome back. If you are curious, Hayden Ulrich leads the team in scoring with 13. Trayvon Hess has 6. Jackson Ott has 3. And Ty Newsom has 1. On the other side of the ball is Austin Oswalt with 12. Will and Cam with 5. Zach has 4. Eric and Dylan have 2. And Ashton, who has 0 points so far in the game, will take it to the arch at the volleyball line now. And he'll bounce it over to Will. Now back to Ashton. All the way over to Zach and to Cam in the paint. Ashton wide open, but doesn't take the 3 in the paint. Passes it back over to Austin. Austin tries driving it in. Back to Cam. Cam to Ashton. Back to Will. Now back to Ashton. Austin takes the 3. No good. Will with the rebound, but it goes out of bounds. And it'll be Indians' ball to start us off. Indians down by 8. Hayden Ulrich will now take it to midcourt. Over to Gannon Smith. Gannon lost it for a second. It'll still be Indians' ball, though. Gannon over to Ulrich. Ulrich at the volleyball line. Now back to Gannon. Gannon over to Ott at the top of the arch. Now back to Newsom. Newsom will bounce pass in the paint to Ott. Ott gives it to Smith, and no good. And they'll pass it over to Will, who's in the paint. Layup, no good. Go over to Cam, and he gets fouled. Shot does not count, though. He'll go to the free throw line for 2. Actually, no, never mind. They will not go to the free throw line. Austin will pass it in to Zach. Zach wanted the 3 for a second. Now over to number 10. That is Ashton. Now back to Zach. Back to Ashton. Ashton at the top of the arch. Now all the way over to Zach, and there was a foul there on Jackson Ott. Zach will pass it in now. And for the 3, that's Austin who gets it. Newsom will now bounce it to Hayden Ulrich. Hayden will take it to midcourt at the volleyball line. Over to Asbury. Now back to Newsom. Newsom tries driving it into the paint. Over to Hayden. Hayden takes a 3. Hayden gets the 3. That is now 16 for Hayden Ulrich. Now Ashton takes it to midcourt. Over to Austin at the arch. Gannon Smith on defense for the Indians. He'll bounce it over to Zach. Zach back to Austin. Now over to Will. Will back to Ashton. Ashton. And that was a foul on the Vikings. Most importantly, it will be Indians' ball. Trayvon Hess comes in for Ty Newsom. Hayden now will take the ball to midcourt. At the volleyball line, he gives it to Gannon. Gannon to Jackson Ott. Ott to Hayden in the paint. Hayden gets it up there, misses. Austin Oswalt gets the rebound. He'll give it to Ashton. Ashton over to Austin. Austin at the volleyball line. Over to Zach. Zach bounce passes to Cam in the paint. Over to Ashton, over to Austin, who takes a 3 and missed. Lucas Asbury on the rebound. Now over to Hayden Ulrich at the volleyball line and now at the arch. He'll pass it over to Trayvon. Trayvon at the volleyball line. He'll pass it over to Asbury to Gannon. Gannon back to Asbury at the top of the arch. He'll drive it into the paint and he lost it. And throws to Zach and he lost it now. And he gets fouled. 3-point play for Zach Hubbard. Foul was on Gannon Smith as Hubbard will now take 1 free throw here. And he missed it. But Cam with the rebound puts it up, doesn't make it. Rebound again. And in, number 40, Dylan Trout scores for the Vikings. Indians now down by 12. And he lost. Pass over to Gannon. Gannon lost the ball. Vikings ball. Zach will pass it in to Eric, who now checks into the game. Over to Austin at the volleyball line. Austin over to Dylan. Dylan in the paint. Dylan to Eric. Eric gets the two. Trayvon passes it to Hayden. Hayden at the volleyball line. Now at the arch. He'll pass it to Asbury. Now back to Ajon, who just checked into the game, and he lost it. And Ajon still has the ball. He'll pass it to Asbury. Asbury to Hayden. Hayden takes a three. Hayden drains it. Indians now down only by 11. Austin will now take it to midcourt to the volleyball line. Ajon Johnson on defense for the Indians. Cam with the ball. Asbury on defense. Over to Eric. Now over to Zach. Trayvon Hess on defense for the Indians. Zach tried driving it into the paint. Couldn't quite do it. Over to Eric. Eric now over to Austin. Now back to Zach. And he'll pass it to Dylan in the paint. Now back to Eric. Eric gets fouled on the floor. No points. Eric, however, will pass it in. Ty Newsom checks back into the game. Trayvon Hess will come off the court. Eric will pass it to Austin. Austin now passes it over to Zach at the arch. Zach tries driving it into the paint. He's in the paint and gets the two. Now Hayden Ulrich will take it to midcourt. At the volleyball line, he passes it to Asbury. Asbury to Hayden. Hayden at the arch to Asbury for the three. No good. Zach with the rebound. He takes it to midcourt. Over to Eric. Now back to Zach. Over to Austin. And now back to Dylan Trout in the paint. And Ty Newsom just takes it away. What a play. Hayden Ulrich now to the arch. Hayden drives it into the paint. And that was a foul on the Vikings. I thought for a second it might have been a jump ball. Ajon Johnson will inbound it for the Indians, however. Ajon to Hayden. Hayden for the three. Hayden miss. And it will go out of bounds as it'll be Vikings ball. Zach inbounds it to Eric. Eric will take it to midcourt. What a takeaway by Hayden Ulrich. Hayden will get the two and the foul. Hayden will go to the foul line to shoot one shot. Hayden's free throw is good. So 3-point play for Hayden Ulrich. Now close the lead by 10. Austin bounce pass to Cam. Cam passes it right back to Austin. Austin wanted the three. Now over to Eric. Now back to Cam. And Hayden Ulrich, another takeaway. And he'll take it to midcourt, to the arch. He'll drive it into the paint. Lost it for a second, but regained it. Hayden's at the volleyball line. He'll bounce it over to Ajon. Ajon to Ty. Ty will give it to Trayvon. Now back to Hayden. Hayden takes the mid-range. No good. And rebound Cam. Cam will give it to Dylan, and Dylan will just give it back to Austin. Austin will now take it to midcourt, to the volleyball line. Ty Newsom on defense. Now back to Dylan. Now back to Austin with Trayvon now this time on defense. Now back to Eric Asbury on defense. Now to Cam. Back to Dylan. Now back to Eric. Eric's driving into the paint and misses the free throw. But it'll be a foul on Hayden Ulrich, and he'll go to the line for two. And first free throw is good. Off the front of the basket, bounces in. Eric's second free throw is good as well. Ty Newsom will inbound it for the Indians, and he'll give it to Hayden Ulrich. Hayden at midcourt. He'll now take it to the volleyball line. To Asbury, to Trayvon. To Lucas Asbury once again. Over to Hayden. And he tried for a pass in the paint to Ty Newsom. He lost it. Will with the ball. He'll give it to Zach, and Zach will give it to Ashton, who's checked back into the game. Back to Will. Zach at half court. Now give it right back to Ashton. Ashton at the volleyball line. He tries driving it in. Little pass to number 21 and out of bounds. I think it was on the Indians. Wyatt, my bad. So Wyatt tried for the points, couldn't quite make it. And that was the end of the third quarter. Vikings still lead the Indians 44-32. We'll be back after this.
Thing I've learned as the Pacers announcer is how to face a challenge. So when our hard Indiana water caused problems at home, I reached out to Connecticut, the toughest water treatment company in the business. Our equipment eliminated all the bad tastes and odors, and we have no stains or cloudy residue. If you're ready for great water, ask for the Denary deal to take an additional $200 off any Connecticut sale price. Visit ConnecticutIndy.com for a free water test. Connecticut, official sponsor of the Indiana Pacers.
And we are back for the final quarter of the basketball game here today. Asbury with the ball. He'll give it right back to Hayden. Hayden at the volleyball line. He passes it over to Ty, and he lost it for a second. Zach hit it out of his hands. Goes out of bounds. Still Indians ball. Ty will inbound it to Hayden. Hayden now will pass it to Ty. Ty to Ott. Now over to Asbury in the corner. Asbury drives it into the paint, and he'll take the two. No good. Will with the rebound. He gives it to Ashton. Ashton takes it to midcourt. Back to Will. Now Zach in the corner. Zach drives it in. But will get fouled by Jackson Ott on his way there. As now it'll look like Ashton will inbound it for the Vikings. He'll throw it all the way over to Eric. Ty Newsom on defense for the Indians. Now back to Zach. Zach drives it into the paint. Back out to Eric. Now over to Will in the paint, and he gets the easy two. Hayden Ulrich will bring it back to midcourt. over to Asbury, now to Trayvon. Trayvon over to Hayden. Hayden with the three, no good. Rebound Ashton, and he's under duress by the Indians, and it's taken. For a second, it looked like it was taken away. Ty Newsom had it, but it rolls out of bounds, but it will still be Indians' ball. Hayden Ulrich will inbound it for the Indians. He gives it to Jackson. Actually, no, he gave it to Trayvon, my bad. And Hayden will swing it over to Asbury at the arch. Asbury 1 to the 3, doesn't pull the trigger. Back to Hayden at the volleyball line. Hayden drives it in, no good, but he was fouled. And he'll now go to the line for 2. Foul was on Wyatt on that play, as Hayden makes his first free throw. Indians still down by 13 with 6.5 minutes left in this game. Hayden's second free throw is no good, but Trayvon Hess with the rebound. He gives it to Jackson. Jackson gives it to Hayden. Hayden at the volleyball line. He gets a screen from Asbury as Hayden pulls the trigger for the 3, and it's good. And that'll be a timeout. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Hi.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
And we are back. Ashton will inbound it for the Vikings. He gives it to Zach. Ashton just gives it right back. He'll take it to midcourt. Passes it over to Eric, who gives it right back to Ashton, who gets the 2. Now Hayden Ulrich will take it to midcourt. Hayden over to Ty. Ty over to Jackson. Bad pass. Eric with the ball, and Eric with the layup. No good. No good again. Zach with the layup. Zach will try it again, and it's no good. Foul will be on Ty, though. That was 3 missed layups by the Vikings there. But the first free throw is good. And the second free throw is no good. Zach 1-1 that time on free throws. Asbury with the ball. He'll give it to Hayden at half court. Hayden will now give it to Trayvon. Trayvon at the volleyball line. He'll give it to Asbury. Asbury about lost it. Ooh, he wanted the 3 but doesn't pull the trigger. Hayden drives it in the mid-range. No good. And Eric with the ball at the volleyball line. He'll give it to Dylan. Dylan will give it right back to Eric. Back to Ashton. Now all the way back to number 3, Zach. Now over to Ashton. Over to Wyatt, who gets the 2. Hayden will now take it to midcourt once again. At the volleyball line, passes it to Trayvon. Trayvon over to Jackson. Jackson will give it to Asbury. Asbury over to Hayden. Hayden tries driving it in, can't quite do it. Hayden shoots a three, no good. Rebound, Zach. Zach will now drive it into the paint and gets fouled on the play by Jackson Ott. Zach will go back to the line for 2 more free throws. And I believe the Vikings are in the bonus now. Jackson's first free throw, no good. Tykel Smith, first time he's checking into the game, will come in now. Zach's second free throw is good, however. And Huntington North will actually take a timeout here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The thing I've learned as the Pacers announcer is how to face a challenge. So when our hard Indiana water caused problems at home, I reached out to Connecticut, the toughest water treatment company in the business. Our equipment eliminated all the bad tastes and odors, and we have no stains or cloudy residue. If you're ready for great water, ask for the Denary deal to take an additional $200 off any Connecticut sale price. Visit ConnecticutIndy.com for a free water test. Connecticut, official sponsor of the Indiana Pacers.
And we are back. It will be Indians ball. Indians down 52-36. Tykel Smith will pass it in for the Indians. He'll give it to Hayden. Hayden, as always, will take it to midcourt, to the volleyball line at the arch now. And he'll pass it over to Asbury, who takes a three and makes it. Asbury for three. He was on fire against Marion. Has been a little quiet tonight. Ashton now with the ball. Ashton at the volleyball line. He'll drive it into the paint, passes it right back out to Eric, who takes a three, and it's good. Ulrich now to midcourt at the volleyball line and at the arch. He'll pass it over to Tykel. Tykel back to Hayden. Hayden shoots for three, and it's good as well. He'll pass it into Austin. Austin at the volleyball line. And we'll pass it to Zach. Zach at the arch. Tipped by Ulrich. And ball still loose. And Tykel had it for a second, but off the foot of Hayden Ulrich. Austin in the paint. And trying to pass it over to Cam. But it goes off of him, out of bounds. Indians ball. Tykel will pass it into Hayden. Hayden will now take it to midcourt. At the arch to Asbury. Asbury shoots for three. No good. Cam on the rebound. He'll pass it over to Austin. Austin will take it to the volleyball line. Hayden, great defensive play by Hayden, and he'll go for two and missed it, but he was fouled. And he'll go to the line for two. Hayden's first free throw is good. And the second is also good. 2 points for the Indians, and that'll actually be an Indians timeout. We'll be back after this.
While you may not be a pediatric surgeon volunteering your topiary talents at a children's hospital, your life is just as unique. Your Raymond James financial advisor gets to know you, your passions, and the way you give back, so you can live your life. That's life well planned.
And we are back. Indians down by 11. It is Huntington North's ball. Ashton will inbound it. A little bit of confusion on the court there for a second. They will actually take Hayden Ulrich off the court for medical reasons. They're saying he is bleeding, so it has to be taken care of. We'll take a short break here. And we are back. Hayden Ulrich back onto the court. Ashton will inbound it for the Vikings. He'll get it over to Zach. Zach lost the ball, but it was picked up by Austin. And it was a foul. Reese Farr has checked into the game for the first time tonight. Reese is a great three-point shooter, so it makes sense for him to be in the game when the Indians are down by a lot. Over to Cam. Now back over to Austin for the easy two. Hayden will now take it to the volleyball line at the arch. He'll shoot for three, and he makes it. Over to Ashton. We'll give it to Will, and foul on Tykel. And that'll be more free throws for the Vikings. Ashton Hostler will be shooting the free throws, and he makes his first one. And his second one is no good. Asbury with the rebound, and he'll give it to Hayden. Hayden will now take it to midcourt at the volleyball line, and now at the arch. Hayden for two. Oh, rolls right out. And Tykel with the ball. There was a foul on the play, though. It was on Ashton. Indians ball still. Hayden will get it at the arch, and he'll drive it into the paint, and we'll give it to Ajon. Ajon for three, no good. Rebound Ashton, but Asbury tried swooping in, couldn't quite get it. actually a technical foul. So Ashton will shoot 2 on his own. And he missed the first one. And the second one is good, however. And now Zach will come in for, I believe, 1. And he missed. Gannon Smith will now check in. Reese Farr back on the bench. This will be a second one, and it's also good. Well, said that like he made the first one. He missed the first one, made the second one. Now Austin will inbound it. He'll give it to Ashton. Ashton will take it to the volleyball line, give it to Will at the arch, over to Cam. Cam wide open in the paint for 2. Now over to Hayden. He'll take it to midcourt. Hayden at the arch, over to Asbury. Asbury for 3, no good. And it'll go out of bounds. It'll be Vikings ball. Ashton will inbound it for Huntington North. And he'll toss it over to Zach. Back to Ashton. Now back to Zach at the volleyball line. And Lucas Asbury just takes it away. Now over to Ajon. Hayden Ulrich for 3. And he drains it for 3. And that is a Indians timeout with 1 minute, 3 seconds left in the game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
You're good at making big announcements.
We're having a go!
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
That's well over half. And we are back. If anyone is keeping score, Hayden Ulrich has 37 on the night. That's right, 37. That is unbelievable. Counts for well over half the Indian scores. Ashton will be the one to inbound it. He'll give it over to Will. Will get fouled. And since the Indians are, not the Indians, the Vikings are in the double bonus. Will take 2 here. And he makes the first one. Reese Farr will check into the game as Gannon Smith will come out. Will's second free throw is good. Now Hayden will give it to Asbury, back to Hayden. Hayden at midcourt. Hayden at the volleyball line. He gives it to Ajon, back to Hayden. Hayden lost it for a second. Hayden at the volleyball line. At the arch. Drives it into the paint for the 2. Gets fouled. And he'll go to the line for 2. Hayden's first free throw is good. Hayden's second free throw is also good. Ashton will inbound it. He'll give it to Will. Will back to Ashton. Over to Zach. Austin wide open. He's at the arch. And they're trying to drain as much clock as they can. Austin will get fouled. Foul was on Jackson Ott. Austin Oswald will go for 2. And he makes the first one. 33 seconds left in the game. And the second free throw is good. Now back to Hayden as he'll take it to half court. At the arch. Gives it to Asbury. Asbury for 3. No good. Rebound Cam. He'll give it to Ashton. And Ashton will toss it all the way over to Austin. Austin will just drain the clock from here with 10 seconds left. The Indians will fall to 0-2. The Vikings 1-1. And that'll do it. Final score, Vikings win 66 over the Mississinewa Indians with the score of 52. And thanks for joining us in the game. Huge thanks to Media Director Derek Gowan, who was controlling the computer and everything, and his wife, Bree Gowan, who was the cameraman for tonight's game. And if you are wondering, Hayden Ulrich ended the game with 39 points. That is unbelievable. What a game by him. Unfortunately, it was not enough, as like I said, the Indians will fall to 0-2. And that'll do it for tonight. I am Aiden Fortney, signing out.